Hello, and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is Thursday, July 2nd, and we're down here by my storage, where I've been kind of doing some house cleaning. A little long overdue, but kind of glad I waited till now to do it, because aside from singularity cells, these are going to be the best upgrades I can do. So what I've been doing, just kind of on the side, I've been doing it here as well as over at B's, where my other mass kind of storage thing is slowly going through and pulling out the old small cells and dumping them into large cells, just so it takes up less space. Because I mean, this storage area, I'm pretty sure this was my first one, and then over here was the second. And you can see I've got a bunch of old ones. You can kind of, this was definitely the first. You can see little bits of progression of older, smaller cells, 1K cells in here and stuff. So just making more space, because I have been, as you can see, these ones were all the 16.3s, and they're all full. So just wanted to utilize the space a little better. I also threw up more storage over here, just to keep it rolling. The way I'm doing it is I just got a compressed chest I can throw a bunch of cells into, a GTNH item pipe to import into this guy. This guy dumps them. Then down here, this guy imports the empty cell, and then this is just the connection to the network. So nothing too fancy. Did it over here just because I have a lot of channels, because the only thing this part is plugged into is the two molecular assemblers, and pretty straightforward. I was also doing it to my fluid cells. This also, because I had a bunch of small cells from when they were full that were I had 5 saline cells, for example, that were 4Ks and stuff like that. So just kind of, again, condensing, cleaning, figuring it all out. I did that because I was kind of debating on what I wanted to do next. I knew I had the Large Hadron Collider to set up and stuff, but that was just that one was just my do that while I'm thinking, kind of as I slowly clean up all these random single blocks still. Next up, the next main thing I kind of worked on was being able to set up a new dimensional forge, which actually, now that I look at it, I didn't actually set it up. Let's see, do I have enough blocks? It should all be good. It's angry. Why is it trying to go for those coils is the real question. I'm going to do stack of schematics. Just take 30 of these. There we go. Oops. Missing some dimensionally transcending casings, so I'm not quite able to set up. That's funny. I'm trying to craft 500 of these. Why not? So I set up an area, another thing, kind of just working on a little bit of aesthetics. I set up an area where I'm going to be expanding all my forges going forward. I've got these original ones, which will be some of the passives, and then I just plan on, for the moment, my current thing, I'm thinking 4x4, but we'll see how we go. I'll probably, because this is a mountain here, expand in this direction, because I still plan on building the Forge of the Gods over here. But as you can see, just based on what I've got going on here, I also got myself a set of Eternal Coils. There was a little bit of a goof with these, just to, the only reason I'm breaking these, I know I haven't done the quest yet, so go ahead and put those back. I got these crafted, 2,112 of them. To do that, though, because Eternal Coils actually require a singularity, and I wasn't going to manually do the black hole thing over here 2,000 times or use the old recipe, because that'd be silly. I did finally go about setting this up on the A2 network. Now, the actual setting of this up, I did back on Tuesday, and I didn't make a video because it was the only thing I did that day, and I didn't really have a lot of time that night. But I basically followed the wiki 100%. I wasn't really sure how to go about it, and then once I saw the wiki, it made sense, and I just used their design. The only thing I changed, if you're looking at the wiki to automate it, is I set the override switch to the outside. I will say, when you're looking at the wiki and you're reading where it's putting stuff, I was a little confused because it says inside the black hole thing, and then like the pictures show this kind of layout, and I couldn't find it outside because I wasn't taking the words literally, that it literally meant inside the multi-block. But basically what we got going on in here, just a quick run through of it, is this right here is kind of the initiating thing where right here is this is where the actual pattern is for the eternal and whatever I end up adding into it in the future. You got it named and all that stuff, so I don't actually have to break blocks to come in here. And then once this part of the network has items, it triggers this circuit right here, which then triggers this RF slash, which drops a black hole in, which then essentially starts everything. We've got this guy, which is the black hole sensor. We've got this guy over here, which is an activity detector on the multi-block. And then between the two of them, this one's a little more straightforward. It just comes in and it's an AND gate, and it's asking if, basically, if this state cell has been triggered. And then, again, these guys are all over here, and this guy's a counter over here, with this state cell being one of the configurable parts that'll be unique to everybody. So the way this multi-block works, generally speaking, is it is good for 100 seconds. You don't need to do anything addition. The black hole will collapse, but it'll take 15 minutes to collapse unless you insert a black hole collapser, which is what this guy is right here. However, you can add a bit of space-time to keep it open longer. So between all this, basically the decision you have to make is, so this black hole thing will trigger this counter. And if you're going to use space-time, you use these settings. If you're not going to use space-time, you specifically use maximum 80, decrement of 80, and then have this guy set to 1 second, I believe. But if you are going to use space-time, I would look at that chart on the wiki, and it tells you like the point at which the space-time usage dumps, because it does get exponentially more expensive. I went with the 250 mark. It's got 150 here because, again, it has the base of 100 seconds. So this will basically, if I'm running a really long recipe, like the Eternal Coils, for example, where I've got 2,000 of them, this guy will essentially use, for one full cycle of the black hole thing, 1,000 space-time. So I figured I could live with that one. That doesn't hurt the bank too much, especially at the moment while space-time's more expensive. And it's not even so much expensive, it's just a time thing, to lock that witch in there. Let me turn this on before I forget. So the little bit of the goof I had with the Eternal Coils, though, was I did the singularities separately, which kind of ended up screwing me over on using critical thinking later for what I'm about to explain. So I knew I had 2,112 singularities. So down here, this area which I've been cleaning up, I haven't finished because I have a whole little project I keep forgetting about that I want to do to make all my additional assembly line throughput work, but I haven't done it yet. Is I set up this assembly line right here for Eternal Coils. Now, the reason I ended up setting up a second one, because this is the max energy hatches I have right now is UIV. Eternal Coils is a UMV recipe. The advanced assembly line can't overclock, so I can't use bigger than single energy blocks. I did attempt to do this as a 16 long one to see if it would make this faster, change it down to 15 seconds, but it didn't change anything. So I just built a second, because if not, it takes roughly 17 hours to do a full set of dimensional forge coils. So I built a second one, and where I goofed was I made sure connected the output hatch to the second one, but the first one that already was hooked up, I didn't re-hook back up. So, but I also redid the pattern down here without canceling the recipe, which I should have. And I thought it had voided 911 Eternal Coils for me. And I was, like I said, I don't care about resources because resource is infinite. I only care about time. And that's a lot of space time, which would have been, I can't remember what we produce space time at the moment, but it's slow. I mean, I crafted those things on Wednesday and I'm still only back up to 1.1 million. Now, it is down a little because I do craft my UHV capacitors now off of this stuff, so I do use it a little. But I didn't want to wait a whole nother day for what I thought was voiding, because I have run into other voiding, and the way I was like sure I had voided it out was because of the singularities in particular, where I knew for a fact how much I had going in. So I cheated in all these items to make it. I didn't do the hypogen. I figured if I'm cheating some items in to make up for a glitch that I caused by not ending the recipe, I could, the 500,000 hypogen is like a worthy payment for doing that. It's mainly, like I said, only the time. If it wasn't for time, I wouldn't care. So I did all that. I didn't do the coils themselves. I figured also I should pay the small time penalty of like having to recraft them, since I thought they voided out, or I didn't even know if they crafted in the first place, and just doing the coils felt like too cheaty. So I did that, and then I got like half of them, and then I realized I had all the coils in here, and so then I ended up voiding out the once I realized what I had done, and I hadn't actually glitched them out. I voided out the extra 911 coils I had crafted and had waited for, and felt like a real idiot because at that point, like, I couldn't like roll back the server because I had done the next step and there was a lot of manual craft. It was just a really dumb thing on my part. I jumped to conclusions too fast instead of checking things. And yeah, because I have since this beta, I have I have definitely had a bunch of random stuff void out in recipes, and I've made a bunch of changes that seems to have stopped that, but like it's been a persistent problem. So like, I should. It was just a goofy moment on my part, but we got it taken care of. It's all balanced out, and for all that, I was basically wasted an extra couple hours and lost 500,000 nitrogen. So I feel like it would kind of balance out for gaining nothing in advantage. But anyways. So the very next thing I did, which I'm pretty excited about, though it's not actually set up, kind of like the dimensional forge over there. It's not actually functional yet, but you might notice there's something different about this river. That is, there is hiding underneath it a Large Hadron Collider. And if we hop down here, this thing is massive. So basically what I did, well, I was re-waiting for the Eternal Coils over there, goofily, was I manually did out all this. I mean, I used the matter manipulator, but like this section of it had to be done by hand. I carved out this area, turned the bottom of the river floor into blue glass because I thought that looked really cool, and then eventually set this up. I set this room up. You can see these cobblestones so that ultimately all these things, all sides are like 3 blocks away. I do kind of want to do something to like eliminate these needless corners that are just make it more like dynamic looking in here than a square, but those are future or board made problems. The only problem is while I have attempted to figure out how this works, I was playing around with it for quite a while earlier. I haven't quite got it right yet. I get the general idea is going to be feed an item in here, which the last I was trying before I moved on to the next thing was I was putting hydrogen in here, then having it, essentially it goes in here, it does its collider thing, and then ultimately it comes out through these filtered beam hatches to the different particles, and then comes in here to the beam crafter. Now I broke it because I had attempted to start a recipe, which I think is actually still trying to run over here, which I can just cancel. Doesn't matter. Those items are gone now. come into here, crafts, and then should all work. And I have this guy on here and an activity detector in here similar to the one out on the field from Monday, trying to like automate the whole process of like how long that thing's running over there, whatnot. Cover wasn't quite working for me. I was getting some particles, but this guy was power failing, and I have 256 amps of UIV coming in here. And seeing as this is a UV multi-block, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure that's what the tooltip said. Either way, it was definitely like multiple tiers before UIV. I'm pretty sure I'm just doing something wrong. And I knew I was going to be interrupted a lot this afternoon. I had a lot of meetings at work today, so didn't really have time to sit there and try to figure out how it worked. So this is where we're at so far and coming back to it. But what I did have time to dedicate through, again, I think this looks really cool. So I'm pretty excited how the room turned out. I just need to make the rest of it less bland. I went back to a very old building that I barely ever show and was very archaic. It's kind of fun to try to fit everything back into it, which is the crop building. So with having the extra Dyson spheres, or Dyson swarms, I have run out of swarm modules, and I cannot craft them because of steel leaf dust, and then I need to look in this one. This one, whatever is going on here, should be far easier to fix. But the steel leaf dust, I basically have it fed from a EEC in this guy that just like basically grinds down armor that I think the armor crab drops, or the night, one of the Twilight Forest mobs drops something that essentially you can grind down into steel leaf dust, but obviously it clearly doesn't keep up. And the only other way I could see to practically make steel leaf dust was crops, where is steel leaf dust? Here we go. Yeah, crops. So basically just I was like, okay, so I do, because the Dyson swarms are down, obviously I have plenty of power buffer, so I'm not in like a huge rush. Plus I turned 3 of them off because I was just like surplusing power for no real reason. If for some reason something happened, I could just go turn all those back on. It'll be all right. And the steel leaf will catch up for one Dyson swarm anyways. But so basically came in here and cleared out a bunch of stuff. I kind of regretted clearing some of it out so I could show it off again. Basically what I had going on here before you can see the storage thing was I had a storage controller, a big wall of drawers like this, and then all the crops would come out of there to here. I did clear all the crops out because most of them basically had an error warning going where saying they weren't on the correct soil, so like a lot of this stuff is a moot point. Originally, for the original crops, this stuff is built at Y level 130 to like optimize, plus we're in the 100% humidity biome, except for this little section over here, which is 90% humidity. I don't know, I didn't realize it when I built the building, which was a little sad. But I've been just kind of going through, and I was trying to teach myself how to breathe. Then I realized I was like, oh, there's probably blocks, since I am a lot farther along in the game than you probably would be, or you definitely would be when you start doing crops in the first place. So I've essentially committed to doing everything in this building at UIV now, and we've got all the different crop single blocks, which I haven't quite started messing with. This was the last thing I set up, but I did set up before that this little section of got a mega LCR and an extractor, which the purpose of these two guys is to make me fertilizer. I did craft, but haven't set up. Why is the second one not? I meant to craft 2 of these. I've been wanted to craft 2 breweries to work on getting me Weedex. In the meantime, got myself a UIV crop manager, plus redid all the piping for this guy because it was all old school GT pipes and Ender IO conduits. But since all that's cleared out, I was just fixing it up. And then just kind of as a last little like goofy note, so all my excess crops that have just been kind of running till 2.9, so it's basically up till a couple weeks ago. So roughly a couple thousand hours at this point. I set this up way back in like HV, I believe is when I built this building. And for all that time, all my excess crops were coming in here. I figured the best thing to do with them was to make technically UU matter amplifier. And for 2,000 hours, it accumulated to a whopping 195,000 liters. So, yeah. Basically, you're never going to get this where you need to be with UU matter without making the multi-blocks is the long story short of this whole operation here. But yeah, so the plan for the next few days, it is a long weekend for July 4th, so I don't think I'll have another video till Monday, and I'm not sure how much progress I'll make. I do kind of want to mess around with crops and at least finish out to getting steel leaf dust sometime later tonight. Since I don't work in the morning, I'll probably just chill and do that later once I'm done doing what I'm doing with my afternoon. And then from there, if I have time over the weekend, we'll see. I'll figure out how to use the collider and then what to do with that Eternal Coil DTF, or not DTF, dimensional plasma the forge, the big blow plasma forge. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. I hope everybody has a good holiday weekend, and I will be back next week. Goodbye.